Hello you guys, welcome back. It's Darlene Adderley, aka Madam Noir, and if it's your first time tuning in, join the family. You feel me? Today we're going to be discussing becoming unpredictable, being a little bit mysterious. It's okay to be mysterious. It's okay to be a little bit. Everything doesn't have to be an open book. Yeah. So first things first, operating in a puzzle formation. When I mean puzzle formation, for all my visual learners out there, this will kind of be easy because you're picturing a puzzle. Tetris or chess or Sudoku. And when I say this, I'm implying that your life should only make sense to God and yourself. Your life does not have to make sense to anyone else, okay? Because when you allow opinions to come in, ridicule, all this unnecessary the same way the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Zealots, and the Sanhedrins were coming after Jesus just with the opinion, with the talk, with the mouth. It's none of their business. It's no one's business to be coming in and having an input in your life. When we dissect the Bible, there's a lot of people who received unnecessary ridicule and when their mission only included the Lord, when their mission was only steered by God. You feel me? Let's look at Esther. Let's look at David. Let's look at Joseph. There was so many. Their mission wasn't supposed to make sense to the average person. Their mission was not supposed to make sense to anyone except God and the person that the mission was for. So when you're in this life and God gives you a purpose, God tells you to do something, operate as a puzzle and just continue doing what he tells you to do and don't allow any ridicule from anyone else. Just filter. Like, you know, like a coffee filter, filter what you hear, filter what you listen to, filter to the, when it comes to all that unnecessary, don't worry about it. So many people in the Bible had haters and they just carried on. They just carried on with their mission. Be a little Tetris puzzle, be a little Sudoku puzzle. As long as it makes sense to you and God, that's all that matters. Carry out your mission without the need of explaining it to anyone. And this also goes for if people make assumptions about you, don't clear your name. Never clear your name. Just let it. Because here's the thing about God. God will intervene for you. God will navigate through your life in such a way where everybody will be on hush mode. You remember when Christ died and the earth shook? And everybody realized after the fact that Jesus was the Son of God. The Zealots and everybody, Sadducees, Pharisees, all of them, they were all talking about, oh, he's not the Messiah. He's not this, he's not that. He can't be. But right after he was crucified, when the earth shook, right after that moment, and he rose on the third day, everybody was on hush mode. A deer in headlights, flabbergasted. Yeah. Just let it, and let God defend you. Let God defend you in this life. You don't have to, let God defend you. The next one is allow your work ethic perform for itself. Let your work, your creativity, all of that to defend itself. There's no choice but to accept that that person's good at what they do. Just defend things with your actions. Let people know what you want them to know and keep everything on lockdown. I call this the 90-10. 90% is on lockdown, but 10% is what you could blabber. It's what you could talk about. 90, it's a mystery. 10% is what you speak on. So when you have that balance, when there's that ratio, I think it's a good ratio. You're giving out information, but you're not giving out information at the same time. When you're in a relationship with someone, they don't have to know everything about you. Let them know you as time goes on. You don't have to tell them everything, your whole life story on the first date. You know, on the second date, you don't have to tell your whole life story. Keep some information on a lockbox. Leave everyone guessing, but then also thinking before you speak. Really go over what you're gonna say next. In my life, I will tell you what I want you to know. And when I say personal things about me to individuals, like for example, I had this friend, we're no longer friends though, because of this specific reason. I told this friend about my past engagement. When I speak on personal things, I place emphasis on certain parts of what I say so that if it's repeated again, I know who told you. So I told this friend about my previous engagement And this individual went to go tell people. But where this person went wrong is they raised emphasis on the same things I told them. I knew who the source was when spilling my business. But after that, I could not speak to the person again. Because if I come to you as a confidant and you go repeat something, I can't. When you are telling someone something personal, raise emphasis on certain things that you say so that when it's repeated again, you know exactly who spoke. Okay? When it comes to being unpredictable, you have to be confident. If you didn't watch my video on being confident, I'm gonna place it somewhere up here so you can watch it. Confidence, godly confidence. But in order to be unpredictable, you must have confidence, because then you're like operating as a facade. You can be confident, but not an open book. You can be very particular about what you share. Just how I said earlier, the 90-10. You don't always have to be available. Have some time away. And that even goes for relationships as well. You don't have to always be available. Keep some distance, just a little bit, you know? Time for you to recharge. And here's the thing about me, if I'm somewhere for too long or I'm always somewhere, my social battery will drain. If I'm somewhere for maybe 5 hours, 10 hours, I need an equal amount. The ratio doesn't make sense, but I need an equal amount of time by myself to recharge. And so you don't have to always be at every function, you know? Sometimes just stay home. So you don't have to always be at every single place. You don't have to you don't have to go to every single wedding that the community is hosting, event within the community. Just, you know, stay home sometimes or find something else to do. When you're with someone face to face, try not to dominate the conversation. And if you are dominating the conversation, I don't know if I should say this. Keep the conversation in a loop in the same topic that you are talking about. Don't leave that topic. Sometimes you just have to listen. Just listen to other people's viewpoints. Listen to other people's perspectives. You don't have to be the one always changing the topic. Allow them to navigate the conversation sometimes. I also believe that you must have an interesting life if you want to be a mystery. Everyone has an interesting life. But it's the way you view your life which will determine if it's interesting or not. It's you in your mind. It's your mind and you. If you tell yourself that you do not have an interesting life, then your life will be boring. But if you tell yourself that your life is interesting and full of possibilities and full of adventures, then that's what will come to you. That's what will happen. Your mind, don't allow your mind to steer you into an alleyway, you know? Allow your mind to branch off sometimes, be spontaneous, to just be different, you know? And that will determine if your life is interesting. That will determine if your life is adventurous. In order to be a mysterious person, your life has to have substance. Your life has to be interesting. But it's all with the mind, and it's all with the structure, with how you perform in your life. Everyone has an interesting life, but it's only based on how you view your life. You see what I'm saying? And when you're having a face-to-face conversation with someone, over dinner, conversation, whatever the case may be, your outpour of opinions should be an 80-20. Allow them to tell you their opinions more than you telling your opinions. That's where the 80-20 is. Them being the 80, you being the 20. So you can understand their perspective. I tell you guys my opinion on certain things, but you guys do not know my full opinion on different matters. My outpour of opinions are typically the same. If you understand the basis of being unpredictable, then you'll understand what I'm saying. I was listening to a webinar and they said that every 3 months, you should be switching up your hobbies and discovering new hobbies and try to perfect them within 90 days. So if you're finding a new hobby every 3 months and you're trying to perfect that hobby, you see what I'm saying? 30, 60, 90, new hobby every 3 months, trying to perfect it every 90 days. You know, you'll always be busy. So Yeah. Have a mentality of it's a mystery. Everything's a mystery. When someone asks you a question where you feel as though they're becoming a monitoring spirit in your life and trying to figure out too much about you, just say it's a mystery. You feel me? As long as God knows, that's all that matters. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!